this is what our carving tools look like. There is a handle for you to hold on to the tool, and there's also an area where you'll be putting inside the blades. This part may be all the way twisted down and closed when you start. So if it looks like this and there is no space to put in a blade, then you're gonna wanna loosen it up. Right here on these little grippers, this is where you're gonna wanna turn. When you're turning, what this is doing is making more space here. So you're gonna almost see a little space that looks like a dark letter C. That's where you're gonna slide in the blade of your choice. The blades that we're using look like this. They have two different sides to them. One side is sharp and pointy, and there is a number so you know what size you're using. The other side is very smooth and kind of rounded. It also has words on it. That's the side that's gonna go inside of the tool. So the little spot that we saw that looked like a dark letter C, we're gonna slide that right into that space there. We need to tighten the tool before we use it. So you're gonna go back in the same spot there where those little grippers are and turn. And then you're ready to start cutting when you can no longer twist that in. You're gonna hold onto the linoleum while you're cutting it. You're gonna hold onto it on the side as you start to cut through the linoleum. The reason is you do not want to cut your hand. If you hold onto your linoleum at the top and you go to cut and you hit a bump or unexpectedly move fast through linoleum, you will cut yourself on accident. So you always want your hands off to the side where they will not be in danger of being cut. You also want to be turning this so that it is away from you. So think of it as a snow shovel. You would not shovel snow towards yourself. You should not be carving towards yourself. Again, so that you do not get injured while you're doing this project. When your hand is firmly down on the linoleum, you can start to cut through the linoleum. So where you have drawn in pen, and for this example, I'll just draw a line, where you've drawn with your Sharpie, that's where you're going to be doing your carving, right on top of those lines. So you'd want to find a little spot where you can start to push. You're going to be pushing across into the linoleum, and you can see that little pieces are coming out. I'm trying to do this in a very smooth way. Many students like to stand up when they're doing this so that they can really press down into the linoleum. And you will see that there is going to be trash pieces that come out of the linoleum that look like this. Those are going to need to go in a trash bucket at your table or be swept up later. We want to have deep lines so that the ink, when we later turn this into our stamp, does not go into those holes. What we don't want is kind of jagged lines when we're trying to do it smooth. If we have a line drawn like this, we want it to be smooth and even so that it looks like our faces that we've drawn. We don't want haphazard lines like this. Later, it's okay to make marks like this if you're going back in to add texture for hair or a background design, but just for the carving on top of the permanent marker, you're not going to want lines that look rough like this. If you're doing this, it should be very smooth and easy to cut. A lot of kids say it's a little bit like cutting through an eraser, and it feels almost like you're cutting through butter. It's not hard to do this. So if it is kind of difficult to cut through, you need to check in with the teacher because you may be doing something wrong in the process.